Once you've mastered the basics of plant care, you will actually start to develop a relationship with some of these plants.
Okay, so that sounds kind of weird.
No, I don't think that that's weird at all. Because if you actually put in the effort to care for any living thing, whether it be your dog, your cat, or your plants, you will develop a relationship. And what is one of the most important key components to a relationship?
Oh, I definitely know this one. Communication. Wait, but be clear though. So you saying that these plants can talk?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Stay tuned and I'll show you. Hey, what's going on everybody? I'm Dave, welcome to Aroy District. So I want to say there's a thin line between plant care and self-care. It's my opinion that caring for plants is definitely beneficial to your mental health. So in today's video, I want to show you all how I communicate with my plants and show you all how that helps me out, helps me see life a little bit more clear. Hopefully it can do the same for you. So communication is just an exchange of information. Let's take this Philodendron domesticum variegated for example. I really like this plant. I care for it. I put in the effort to care for it. So when I walk into my plant room and I see that the leaves have little water droplets on the edge, this plant is telling me that it's getting enough nutrients, maybe even too much nutrients. If I were to feel along the midribs of the middle leaves and I see how firm they are, this plant is telling me that it's hydrated. You know, it doesn't need to be watered or anything like that. But, just caring for this plant, I see that this new growth is putting off a lot of nodes. Right there, it's putting out, aerial roots. So this plant is telling me that it would like to attach to some kind of support, whether that be a stake or a moss pole. So let's do that right now. I'm gonna use a self-watering pot. I added in a wicking string to that self-watering pot. And then I quickly made a soilless potting media. We'll sprinkle in a little bit of Osmocote slow release fertilizer to this soilless potting media. This consists of leca, perlite, horticultural charcoal, sphagnum moss, and cocoa chunk. So I cleared some of the previous soil off of the roots at the bottom. I didn't want to disturb the roots too much, but that's enough to put this on a pole and into that new self-watering pot. For this one, I'm gonna use a bendable moss pole. So what I'm trying to do is get a little soil at the base and adjust that wicking string to where it's situated in the middle. And every time you do this, it takes a little bit of adjusting. So I'm gonna try to adjust this plant to where the nodes are touching this bendable moss pole. So I think we are just about finished with this. I'm gonna take this Velcro strap and I'm gonna secure this plant to this bendable moss pole. And from there, we're all set. So I am kind of fascinated by the Polaroid type variegation this plant has. So I'll be sure to keep you all updated on anything exciting happening with this. So now that we have that all done, I'm pretty sure that it's beneficial to the plant. It looks nice, it has a moss pole. But was it beneficial to me? Well, the answer is yes. This plant now has a support with this moss pole so that it can attach to, it can grow bigger, better, and stronger now that it has this moss pole to back it up. Once this plant recognizes that it has a support behind it, all of those good things will happen. And that coincides with my personal life because I need support myself, and I'm the type of person to where I don't like to be vulnerable. When it comes to family and friends that I know care about me, sometimes I shut them out. That is a problem that I have, and I know that I can be just like this plant. I can be better, stronger if I allow my family and friends to support me. So that's what I call a plant life parallel. Speaking of a plant life parallel, I have my friend Lauren to give you another example.
Hi everybody, my name is Lauren. I'm from the channel Plants Tings. Just wanted to thank you again, Dave, for inviting me to be a part of this collab. You always come up with the best ideas. My plant life parallel is surviving versus thriving. We've all had that one plant that just won't do anything. It won't put out new leaves or new roots, but it won't die either. It's literally just surviving, but it's not thriving. And it's like until you get your care just right, you might have to make some adjustments in your care, or until it gets through that dormancy season, it's just gonna sit there. And of course, I immediately thought of my alocasia black velvet. If you had an alocasia, you know that's exactly how that plant will act sometimes. And until I made changes to my care, suddenly the plant started to take off, especially once it came through its dormancy season. And I have found that to be very much the same in life. Whether we're going through something, we have a hard time in life, we may find that all we have the energy to do is survive. We might be on our grind mode where we're just eat, work, sleep, and that's more than enough at that time for us to get through that time. And once we come through that dark season in our life, we may want to look for opportunities to try something new or have a new experience that's going to take us out or break up that grind mode and get us into thriving in our life. So just like with the black velvet, it needed me to change something. I had to change the substrate, put it in a new spot, pot it with a new plant, and suddenly it took off. So in our life, we can do small things here and there. We may not have to go and take a trip across the country, to enrich our lives, but even just small things each day, whether it's meeting someone new, trying something new, learning a new skill or a new hobby, something that's just going to break up our daily grind. And something about like those synapses in your brains, when they start going off because you're learning something new, you become excited about it. And then suddenly, you're having more enjoyment in your life, and now you're thriving in your life. So that is all for my plant life parallel. I hope that you guys found it helpful or inspiring, and thank you again, Dave, for having me.
Check this out. This is all bad. Look at these leaves. Look how they swing. They just bungee jumping off of the patio. So let me tell you the story. I was so excited to go to Ecuador, California a couple months back. I went to their grand opening of the shop, and I picked up what appeared to be a really nice queen anthurium. This is a Anthurium warocquianum, also known as the queen anthurium. So I was excited to get it. I got it for a good price, and it was just I had a really good time shopping at the store. But when I got home, just something, I don't know, I just felt like this plant was talking to me, and I just felt like something was not right with this plant. even though, it appeared to be, perfectly fine. But soon as I got home, I lifted that plant out of the nursery pot and the roots were fried. It was almost as if this plant was just imported, So 0 roots, they were completely dried up, shriveled up. So I did go down to Ecuagenera with my friend Eric. I called Eric and I said, you got a queen anthurium too, so check on the roots, because as soon as I got home, I see that the roots are just completely shot, And he was like, Dave, I checked the roots before I left. So he already had his queen anthurium and he took it out of the nursery pot while he was at the store to see how good the roots were. So his was perfectly fine and mine wasn't. So, after a couple weeks, we started to get the droopiness with this plant. So I don't have any type of connection or relationship with this plant because it has not been active, in my care. I repotted it, and maybe I should go ahead and see what the roots are doing. Matter of fact, I didn't plan for this, but let's do that right now. Let's see what these roots are looking like. Is there any life in these roots now that it has been a couple months and, I repotted it? Yeah, so my whole goal for this one is just to bump this plant right about the pot, and I just want to see what these roots are looking like. And look, these leaves are just, they look very stressed out. And the roots are no good. Yeah, there's no new growth on these roots, and they just look like imported roots. They're just, pretty much rotted, fried out. So clearly the roots on this plant were not good. It's been 2 months and they did not acclimate. So I repotted it, put some sphagnum moss close, to the stem, and I made sure I tied these leaves up on this little black stake here, because what I want to do is I need these leaves to be facing up so that they can catch some of the grow lights, and maybe that will feed the plant into, pushing out new roots. So that's my whole plan of tying it up, because if these leaves are facing downward, they will not be photosynthesizing. So I need them to face upwards and catch light. So that's why I will tie them up by any means necessary. I got a little wire and just, tied them up so they can be facing upright. But the whole benefit of me going down to Ecuagenera, California was so that I can get a plant that is already acclimated to my agricultural zone. Obviously that did not happen. And a part of me, I want to blame them because I know for a fact that this was not a healthy plant. When I brought it home, it was almost as if it was just imported. But then again, I am a advanced aroid collector, so I'm gonna blame myself, because I should have did what my friend did, which was check the roots before I decide to purchase it. So that's what's going on with my Oraquianum. And right now we don't have a connection, but someday I feel like this is gonna bounce back. During that same visit to Ecuagenera, California, I got this Philodendron bicolor. It's putting out this new leaf right here, and it was actually the same situation with this plant. The roots were pretty dried out, but it seemed to have bounced back pretty fast. And I gave it this moss pole, and I don't know if you can see there is the roots have, gone into this moss pole and it's putting out a new leaf. So I know a lot of people don't care much for this plant. Well, at least, a few of the people that I know, they don't really care much about this plant, but this is a really nice philodendron. Look at the petiole. I don't know how to say it. The gradient is pretty harsh. Like it's green and it quickly goes into a red at the bottom. And maybe I should take it outside so you can really see, but the bicolor on this bicolor definitely is striking, and that's what kind of draws me to this plant, because it has like a upscale feeling. That's kind of the vibe that I get from this bicolor. And as soon as it climbs up, I'll probably really be able to show you, the best attributes of this plant, So the fact that me and this plant been through a little something, with the roots not being so well, it quickly bounced back, and this plant was just pretty much letting me know that, everything is okay. We in the safety zone. We got roots inside the moss pole. This plant is telling me that it likes it here. Do not change anything, But sad to say, I'm about to change everything, because stay tuned for my next videos, because I am going to be moving all of my plants to another location. You'll get more information about that in upcoming videos. But yeah, sad to say I'm gonna have to do that to this plant. You're gonna be moved, buddy. But this plant does have like some succulent features. These leaves are a little bit thicker than what they appear to be, and if you take a look at this petiole, you see how this petiole is kind of bulbous. So I know this plant stores water, and it's probably hardy just because of that, just because it stores water. So that is my philodendron bicolor. I highly recommend this plant. I highly recommend it. If you have one of these, leave a comment below and tell me how yours is doing, because this plant is one of those plants where you can't really appreciate it until you see it in person. I am telling you. Okay, so I just want to show y'all something cool. A couple videos back, I showed y'all some sticks that I had sitting in water. I was propagating some sticks, and I finally potted those sticks up, because check this out. We got variegated hibiscus plants. There's one more pot over there, but obviously I wouldn't have been able to, handheld 4 of these. So these variegated hibiscus are very fast. I told you all, as soon as I put these little sticks, I bought 6 of these sticks, so let's count them off. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the other pot over there has the other 2, and they all have put out nicely variegated leaves, and the variegation is coming in all different kinds of colors. So I'm excited about these variegated hibiscus. Some of the leaves are green and white. You get a little bit of red, pink. This one right here is putting out some type of a lime green and orange color. So I'm excited about these, and you know what? These are so hardy and fast that I might throw a couple of them on my Etsy shop within the next couple weeks, because these can handle cooler temperatures. I have it sitting by this cold window, and the non-variegated hibiscus, I have a few of them outside, and they definitely put up with temperatures all the way down to the high 30s Fahrenheit. So I think that these might just ship well, since they're not big yet. Once they start branching off and turning into a proper tree, then they're going to be harder for me to share, sell, or give away, So I think right now I'll go ahead and put these on my Etsy shop you know, at least a couple of them. So I think that was cool. So I'll challenge you all to not look at plant care as something that is stressful. You know, situations happen with these plants, and the way that you remedy that situation, a lot of times you can apply that to your personal life. You know, if you think deep enough, you can definitely apply that to situations that you may be dealing with. So, you know, with that being said, definitely take care of yourself. Take care of these plants, you know, but don't go crazy on these sales, because I already know it's some big sales going on right now. But if you like my content, if you like this video, leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe. I'll definitely be seeing you all around. Until next time.